And industry and background analysis, of course, should always be forward-looking. And so one other good exercise to go through is to ask yourself, what are some key uncertainties that could affect our industry? Particular uncertainties that are really not under our control, that are truly exogenous to us. And of course, those uncertainties might affect us in a positive way, or they might affect us in a negative way. Now, I think it makes sense to think about these uncertainties after we've done this industry analysis, because clearly, if one of those big factors that we've identified will change a lot over the next couple of years, that could be a key source of uncertainty. But what I've done here is I've created a sort of a long list of potential sources for uncertainty for you kind of to think about, and one could use them in some sense as a starting point for a brainstorming exercise. Now, the good thing about understanding kind of potential sources for uncertainty is then after we've done that, we can maybe pick a few of these uncertainties and combine them in different ways and to create some scenarios. And that is sometimes a very helpful exercise to go through to think about potential states of the future. What might our industry look like in a couple of years? So let me give you one example. I'm actually the co-director of the Mack Institute for Innovation Management, a research center here at the Wharton School. And a number of our partner companies are from the BioSciences. And now clearly that is an area of lots of uncertainty and lots of investments have to be made. So these partner companies came to us and said, can you help us think a little bit about how the future of our industry might evolve? So what we did, we brought together a large number of managers from pharmaceutical companies, biotech companies, some medical device companies, the healthcare system, some scientists. And we brought them all together in a kind of long brainstorming exercise on thinking through what are some uncertainties that this industry might face. And so again, we've created a long list of these uncertainties. They included issues like the public acceptance of these biosciences. They included uncertainties like a major new disease. Let's say what happens to this industry if there's a big bird flu outbreak. What would happen to this industry if there's a terrorist attack using smallpox? Right? These are clearly events that could happen that are not under the control of the different players in that industry. So once you have identified these uncertainties, then we came back to that group and asked, okay, so which two of these uncertainties are really keeping you up at night? And there was some debate in the room, but finally they settled on two. The first one they settled on was really some uncertainties around the technology. One part in the room argued, yes, personalized medicine is around the corner. Another part of the room argued, genomics, proteomics, wonderful technologies, but it will be another 3 to 5 years before really new breakthrough blockbuster applications will happen. So the first dimension of uncertainty was technological success. And we had some people arguing, yes, success is around the corner, and others arguing, you know what, it's all about failures. The second dimension that people argued about was public acceptance. We've already seen it with biosciences. There's stem cells, gene therapies, some unease about people mucking around with the DNA of people. And we've seen it in other industries, nuclear power, genetically modified foods, where there was sort of a technology story, but there was also a public acceptance story. And again, broad uncertainty in the room, broad diversity of opinion. Some people saying, yes, acceptance will be very high. Other people will say, no, there will be a lot of rejection about these technologies. So with these two uncertainties, what we have, then we actually have sort of 4 different scenarios that we can now consider. First, we could maybe put some cute little titles on these scenarios. So up in this upper right quadrant, what we really have is sort of the new age of medicine, right? Where we have lots of success on the technology side, and really everyone wants these technologies. Down here, we have a scenario we might call sort of science held hostage, right? Where we actually do have technological success, but we have lots of rejection of people. Up in this upper left quadrant, we have kind of a scenario you might call sort of, where's the beef, right? Where actually the technology doesn't deliver even though everyone wants it. And down here we have really a gridlock where we have neither acceptance nor really technological success. Now, after you've created these scenarios, what you can then do is go back to your own organization and ask yourself, what are all the initiatives that we have currently underway? And ask for each initiative, what would be the payoff of this initiative in this scenario, in this scenario, in this scenario, or in that scenario? And if you do that for the entire portfolio of your initiatives, sometimes actually quite interesting insights arise. You might find that almost all of your initiatives only pay off in one of those scenarios. So that must have been, in some sense, the underlying assumption you had about how the future might evolve when you made those resource allocation decisions of funding those initiatives. And then you can have a good debate in your organization of saying, is that really what we want to do? Do we really want to put all our eggs in that one particular basket? Or do we want to spread our initiatives much more around? So these are some of the interesting insights that can come from engaging in sort of a scenario planning exercise where we try sort of to put together various uncertainties and try to imagine different states of how our industry might evolve in the future.